Alright, so we are going to be doing number 3 for this one. So I'm going to make a new component, the third one. I'm going to turn off the other two components because I do want to start this one from the side here. I'm going to capture position, and just to get started with this, I'm just going to start by drawing an L that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1. So that's how I'm getting going with this. So again, I'm going to draw an L that is 1 by 6. So I just got a rectangle. I made a 1 by 6 rectangle. And then on the right corner of that, I'm going to make a rectangle that is 5 by 1. So I'll leave this up for a second. You can look at the dimensions there, 1 by 6 and 5 by 1. And we are going to go and we're going to extrude those 6 inches, I believe. So I'm going to go check that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Glad I checked because we're extruding at 8. And I'm just going to right click out of here, and I'm going to finish sketch, which I believe is always covered by my thing. So back here is the finished sketch behind the picture of the block. So we're going to extrude this 8. I'm going to click both of the things, and I'm going to drag 8 or -8. It doesn't matter as long as it is 8 blocks. So I'm going to do it 8, and I'm going to make a sketch right on that back face there, and draw 2 rectangles. So each of these rectangles is going to be 4 by 1. So that rectangle is 4 by 1. And then I'm going to draw another rectangle on that baseline here, and that is also 4 by 1. So I got 2 rectangles that are 4 by 1. I'm going to dimension each of these 2 rectangles with the dimension tool so that they are 1 inch from the outside edge. So each one of these is going to be 1 inch from the outside edge, as we can see right here. So I'm leaving this up for a second so you can get all the dimensions you need, and then we're going to finish the sketch. And we're going to extrude this out 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so extruding it out 4 inches. Now the hard part of this drawing is this part, making the cuts here. And it looks really hard, but it's not. You just got to know how to approach it. So I'm going to make a sketch on the side here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line here and a line here, because this is the area I want to cut out. And then I'm going to approximate the shape that we want to cut out, which is going to look like this. So this is me approximating the shape. Once I have the shape approximated, I can actually go in and start doing some dimensions. So like this dimension right here should be 1 inch. Same with its corresponding dimension right here. So those 2 dimensions should be 1 inch. Then on each of these diagonal lines, the vertical and horizontal dimension on both of these, if we go like this and this, should be 1 inch. And this one is telling me I'm over constraining my drawing. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute, and I will find out why that is happening. It's 1 inch, and this should be 1 inch, and it will over constrain the drawing. So I have a constraint on here I have to delete, and I'm guessing it is this. So let's see if that did it. And that did in fact do it. So that little constraint I had sticking out there, that was locking the size of this line, which locked these two. But now that that has changed, I can dimension them. So we got 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. And doing that will lock you in the right size. This line never gets dimensioned. And once you have them in there, you can hit finish sketch. Upon finishing the sketch, I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to select this area, and I'm going to cut it through both of those blocks and hit OK. After doing this, I can turn on the other blocks. I can see my block is not really in line with them at all, so I'm just going to take it on the front view. I'm going to move it over here, approximately in line. I'm going to look at it. The front looks good, and the side looks pretty good. Right there. Okay, so that is how we would make ISO advanced number